Hey y'all, welcome back. Well, this will be part 2 of the 2-part series on the off-road sprayer, the Pimp My sprayer. But that's where we left off. It's been a couple days, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take the tank and stuff off, get it cleaned up. I've got some etching primer, and so we're going to get into tearing this thing down, and I've got a surprise I think we're going to do on this to make it even cooler, so y'all stay tuned. Well, first thing I'm going to do is going to take it back apart, take the tread plate off, and we got to get this frame cleaned up. I've got my etching primer for all the raw metal places. Then get this thing broke down and get it cleaned completely up, and then we'll go from there. All right, now I got out here and got it all pressure washed. Got it all cleaned up and let it sit here in the sun. I did have some bare metal, but I'll wipe it off because I'm not sure if I'm done welding yet or not. But you can see here, I didn't show another video where everything's welded up. It still has a little bit of flex to it, so I'll probably weld here and here too. And then I don't know if I'm gonna add anything else, probably not, but we'll get it back inside and get it dried up and go to the next step. Okay, now that I've got it back in here and it's dry, I actually etch and prime the front because I think I'm going to add a rail around the top, because pulling it through the woods or limbs, I would like for everything to kind of go down by the tires. So I'm going to add a frame to this. So I'm going to cut, I've got some 1x square tubing that was left over from an enclosed trailer build. So I'm going to cut it to length and see what we end up with. I ain't got much of it. I think I got enough to make this work. Now the side rails down, I'm going to need 40 inches at a 45-degree angle going down from the front. So I've got me a piece of 1x here. I ain't going to make the mistake I did the other day, end up having to get stitches. I'm going to cut this in the vise. I'll have glasses on and gloves, but I'm going to cut this at 40 inches. I've got 2 bars of it here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my 40s first because that's my longest run. And then I'll figure out what I got left, because I got to have, I think, 22 to cover the front, or 20 inches to cover the front. So we'll get to cutting this up. Okay, so this is what I have left over. I do have a little bit of bar left from the tongue, but that's basically what I got left. And I would really like it to be 10 to 11 inches tall. Just to kind of protect knocking stuff around the tank. So we're going to need 20. And that's basically 29 5/8. And 11 inches. So we'll get that cut square at 19 3/4, and then we'll go from there on what we have left. I think it's going to end up being 9 inches plus, probably 10 inches tall. So we'll get to cutting these. I won't bother you with it. I'll go ahead and cut these, and then we'll start welding them in place. Well, I got most of the welding done, and as you can see, I put a cage around it, a slot cage around it. So I got to smooth up those welds on that corner and that corner. I believe my pipe fell just a little. It 45s all the way down to the back on both sides. So I'm gonna get a abrasion wheel and clean this up and probably call it a night, and we'll start back over tomorrow. Hey y'all. Well, back up. I'm trying to finish this thing up. Got a pretty cool, got everything etched and primered, so I'll show you what we got done, and I'll show you what I'm fixing to do to customize this thing to probably overkill, but it's gonna look pretty cool. But anyway, that, I put the rail, fits real snug down the sides. Brought it up 10 inches, used the material that I had. That's what predicted what it ended up as. Everything's etched and primered. Cleaned up real good. So that's the end of mock-up. So now, after all the welds are grinded down and everything looks good, I'm going to move on to finishing up. So we turn this thing back on here in a minute. It should be complete and ready to use. So I won't bother you with putting on the final touches, and I'm going to get this thing going today, get it cleaned up and get it usable. So y'all stay tuned. Well, it's officially 100% finished. So I'll pull it out the garage here and show you what it looks like. That's it. No, throw some Pine Life on there. It's all old camo wrap left off of a big truck job. Got all the bracing the way I want it. It is 100% ready to use. This thing turned out sweet. It is a true beast. So I'll show you a few things that worked out pretty good. As you can see, the angle with that hitch, the angle of the sprayer is perfect for everything to drain to the back, because that pump siphons from the bottom and pulls up into there when you're valved to the tank. You know, you have the option of valving tank or valving the one that's on the front. But I wanted to get this trailer up high, so get the sprayer up high enough that it wouldn't rub. So I bushed the front right there, and then as you can see, there's a gap all the way down, and I jacked this plate up higher and bolted it through back here. Let's see, like that. See where I bolted it through. So I have everything that I wanted in this wagon. I wanted it smaller than the side-by-side. As you can tell, it's inside the wheel, so there should be no problem with trees hitting it. I wanted springs. This Harbor Freight trailer, even though I butchered it to death, this did give me the springs I needed. I needed a wider tire. I wanted a hub instead of a wheelbarrow style bearing. I've got greasable hubs, and this thing is just, it turned out a whole lot better than I ever thought. And if I ever need to take the sprayer off or it gets a hole in it or whatever, I pop these two bolts in the back out, pull those two pins, and just slide the whole unit out the back. So we're gonna get some water in it and try it out. So I'll have a little bit more video left on it here in a minute. That turned out better than I ever would have imagined. I know that the camo wrap probably is extreme to most people, but the deal is I've had that camo wrap for about 8 years, and it was only like 12-inch strips, what was left over from a big job. And I've just kept it rolled up, and I've camoed some guns, and I've camoed my tripods and different stuff, but it's just sitting around wasting. So why not put it on something this cool? You know, it just turned out so awesome. This was exactly what I wanted in every shape, form, or fashion. I won't have the issues now getting into the woods I did before. So even now when we have burn-offs and we cut our fire breaks, I can fill this up with water and use this as the extinguisher. I can have a side-by-side there if something gets out of hand. So, which we will be doing soon. But this is the final episode, part 2 of a 2-part series of the Piney sprayers. So this is the Pit My sprayer. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll throw video here at the end of me running around with it, spraying. So y'all stay tuned. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe and like. And as always, God bless. We'll see you on the next video. See ya. Deer season's almost here. This thing has done remarkable on trails. I haven't tipped it yet. This is my second tank running out. Boom sprayer works great. Pressure adjustment's great. With the new wire, with the new trailer, the ride height's great. The tilt's great. It's just a perfect off-road sprayer. I hope y'all enjoyed this video.